go.
Welcome to Radiant Grace Yoga class number 3. Practicing with Gabrielle and Nara today. If you'd like to sit or if you'd like to lie, please go ahead and do so. I'd like to share with you a passage from Jeff Foster, and it's called The Greatest Gift. So make yourself as comfortable as possible, either sitting or lying. Happiness is the absence of the need to be happy. Peace is not a destination, but the absence of the seeker of it. Love is the death of the hope of a better tomorrow, and the full embrace of today in its sweet and tender brokenness. This is the path of the helpless and hopeless, no longer seeking happiness in time, but willing to find grace and gratitude in the most unlikely of places. And to live without hope is a marvelous thing, for it involves wide open eyes and a being deeply rooted in presence, and a heart wide open to the gifts of today, forever wandering a path of untrodden, revealing its diamonds in the light of awareness. The death of hope is the birth of the new, the emergence of the creative. Simply take your eyes off the goal. Bow your head in reverence to this immediacy and receive into your arms this living day, the closest thing of all, the greatest gift, the most present present. By Jeff Foster. The Way of the Heart. So let's take a moment to come up into a seated position. We're going to literally reboot our 9 systems in our body, mainly our nervous system, by some conscious, regulated pranayama. And I'd really like you to focus today on the mechanics of your diaphragm. So as you deeply but softly inhale, be very conscious of how the muscular membrane of the diaphragm moves down on your inhale and allows the belly to naturally swell. And as you deeply exhale without force, without effort, but just deeply, notice the rise of the diaphragm and the subtle drawing in, pulling in of the abdominal muscles. Your face is relaxed, the lips softly sealed, your mouth apart, the teeth soft, and the tip of your tongue lightly touching the upper palate, perhaps just behind the 2 front teeth, or a little bit further back onto the upper palate, where the palate goes from dense to soft, and there creates a bandha called Java Bandha. So the breath almost creates that soft, sucking, audible sensation, and it's very, very rhythmic and very, very gentle. So no dragging, no forcing. And in this manner, when we pay particular attention to the quality of our breath, it then creates pranayama. And we do increase our immune system, and we also lower our nervous systems to the parasympathetic relaxation mode. So whether you close your eyes, whether you choose to have your eyes open, please lower your gaze or close them into fully closed or Shiva seal, where you're softly lowering the gaze to look down the edge of the nose. We're going to create the mudra in our hands of Privivi, our earth mudra. And so we subtly connect the thumb tip to the tip of your ring finger, and it's such a subtle connection. And then allow the hands to rest onto the knees, palms facing up, broadening and lifting the chest, lengthening the back of the skull upwards and descending the front of the skull downwards. So just begin when you're ready. So gently blink your eyes open. And with a next soft inhale, let the arms float up with the back of the arms leading, and halfway through, externally rotate the columns of the arms to let them float up. The palms find each other above the crown of the head. Place the palms softly together, spreading the fingers just like a starfish. And with your next available exhale, journey the arms down. The thumbs briefly touch the space between the brow, the lips, and come to rest at the space between the heart. So let's ask your heart, not your mind, your heart, what resonates with me today? What quality, anything that resonates with you in terms of a sankalpa, a positive vow, a commitment, a statement. And using the sacred words I am and your word or sentence, repeat that silently in your mind 3 times now. Your next available exhale, we lift and lengthen the spine and lower down the chin to the broadness of your chest, bowing down to your inner peace. Once again, blink your eyes open, drop your hands and raise the gaze, and come to lie down onto your back. So just extend the legs away from you and interlace the hands and press the palms forwards and upwards and take the arms above the head to the ground as much as is available to you behind your head. As you next exhale, draw the right knee to the chest, lower the arms down and hug that chin close to you. On your inhale, let's release the leg, release the arms. And the next exhale, change legs. So using the breath to move your body, creating space within the body, letting the breath breathe you. Exhaling left. Gently easing the shin down to the chest and release as you inhale. So keeping the arms above the head, but relax them and release them. Walk both legs over to the right corner of your yoga mat and cross the left ankle over the top of the right. If that's too much length and strain in the left side of the body, just uncross that left leg. Keep the hips exactly as they are and shuffle the shoulders also to the right corner of your yoga mat to create a long banana shape in the left side of the body. Your head can rotate any way it wishes. And take the whole awareness to that left side of the body. And just direct your breath, your prana, into breathing into that whole left side of the body. Inhaling long, exhaling deep. And if you find focusing on the breath difficult at any time, always have an awareness that you are creating a rhythm. Or choose to say a mantra. Choose to say a mantra in your mind, Sat, Nam, or I am in your mind. And as you next inhale, slowly walk the feet back to neutral, walk the upper body back to neutral, and let's slowly change sides. So legs walk to the left corner of your yoga mat, cross the right ankle over the top of the left if it's available. Shuffle the shoulders to the left corner of your yoga mat. Your head may rotate into any area it wants. Long inhales into the right length of the body. Deep exhales out of the right side of the body. Either following the rhythm of your breath or saying a silent mantra in your mind. Every breath you take conscious. And on your next available inhale, release the pose, walk the legs back to center, bring the shoulders back to neutral, and draw both knees onto your chest into knees to chest pose. Just lengthening the back of the skull, drawing the shoulder blades down the back of the spine. So coming up to sitting any way you wish, you can either roll off towards the right hand side and push yourself up that way, or if you're a little bit more active today, rock and roll and come up to sitting in this way. Crossing your right leg, so I'm not going to be mirroring you today. So your right shin will cross over the top of the left, and if we could have the feet flexed underneath the knees, as much as is available, then please do. Place the fingers into your peace sign. Bhumudra, those fingertips just ground and touch you down. Your left arm floats on an inhale up to the sky. The left hand holds the right ear, and we draw the left ear down to the left shoulder. Be very conscious of extending the spine gracefully up out of the base of the stable pelvis. The feet can remain flexed and supported, so you have a firm base. Inhale for 3. Exhale for 3. And on your next inhale, release that left arm and float over towards the right hand side. If there's any tightness in the neck, feel free to rotate the gaze down to the floor or rotate the gaze up towards the sky. Being conscious of not dumping into the upper right arm bone. Your next available inhale, inhale to rise. And then rotate right on your exhale with a straight spine, left palm facing outermost away from you. Being also conscious not to over-rotate in the neck. Every inhale rises the spine. Every exhale rotates the spine deeper to the right. Turn the left palm to hold the right knee. And as you inhale, raise the right arm up behind you, drawing the left shoulder down to the left knee. So we have a lateral extension and also a rotation in the spine, either gazing up or gazing down. And if you're choosing to work with the eyes closed, close them, or just close the top eye. So you can see just the palm of the hand and the fingers through that left eye. Inhale to rise and bring your right arm over the top of your left and give yourself a hug, rounding the spine, drawing the chin to the chest, the navel to the spine. On your inhale, rise the spine up and take eagle arms. The right arm remains on top. Pause in the pose, observing the sensations of the breath. The back of the skull long, the front of the skull soft. The breath rhythmic and easy. As you inhale, your arms rise to the sky. They separate wide, and we place the palms down on the floor, wider than your hips and further back. Option to stay here. Option to raise the hips into tabletop pose using an inhale, keeping the gaze forward. Or if you're comfortable in the neck, drop the head back. Opening and broadening the collarbones, lifting the hips and chest, grounding down through hands and feet. Next available exhale, the hips roll down. Once they've landed, cross the left shin over and make sure you're coming to sit back onto your sit bones and your 4 fingertips. Inhale, right arm up. exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Find an openness in the long side of the left neck. Breathing your awareness into the space. Next inhale, your right arm extends up into a lateral extension to the left, radiating and rotating the right rib cage to the sky. No dumping into the left upper arm bone. Checking that the neck feels happy. Breathing rhythmically, observing the sensations of your breath. Next inhale, rise. Next exhale, rotate left. Right palm facing outermost. Back of the spine and skull long. Front of the skull soft. Breath rhythmic and steady. Turning the right palm to hold the left knee, inhale. Back arm lifts up as you bring your right shoulder down to your right knee, either closing both eyes or just the left eye. Feel free to rotate the head. Rise on an inhale, bringing the left arm around, hugging the upper shoulders and drawing the waist back and the head down. On your inhale, raise the spine, the arms come up, the left arm on top into eagle arms. Pause in the pose. Observe the sensations of your rhythmic breath. Check the mouth is soft, the gaze is soft, the lips sealed softly. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, widen your arms, broadening the chest, place the palms down. Option to stay here. Or if you're moving on, place the hands and feet on the floor and coming up into tabletop, either gazing forward or if your neck is comfortable, dropping the head back. Utilizing the feet and your hands as your foundation. So as you press down through your roots, you'll rise up. Next exhale, come down to sit. And then let's take the legs off towards the right hand side for Bharavajasana, a simple twist. And if you need some support, you place a bit of support underneath the raised hip so that the hips are neutral. So Bharavajasana 1, a simple twist, you either take the arm bind of the hands behind, going the opposite way. So let's take the left arm, catching hold of the right elbow, and then draw the right arm across to the left. So this is Bharavajasana 1. If you wish, you can try Bharavajasana 2, coming off the support, and the foot would come up into the hip crease of your right hip, so that we can either take the same arm bind as option 1, or we can take the right arm across to support the knee and the left arm behind the back to catch hold of the toe. So either Bharavajasana 1, Bharavajasana 2 into a simple seated twist. If that is not available to you because of knee issues, please stay there, Gabrielle. Then an option would be to do this pose in straight legs, either without the arm bind or using the arm bind. One more full inhale. One deep, long exhale. And then bring the body back to face your front. And tuck the legs the other way for Bharavajasana 1, using a support under the right hip, or a Bharavajasana 2. The hips are on the floor and the right leg comes up across into the crease of your left hip. The spine extends up and we take the right arm around either onto the floor, or if it will, it catches the right toes or your left elbow. So we have a variation of different arm binds, and you're rotating towards the right hand side. Be very conscious the hips are stable on the floor. The spine rising up out of the base of that stable pelvis, and that you haven't over rotated the neck. So slightly de-rotate the neck. Full deep inhale to lengthen. Exhale fully and completely. And on your next inhale, de-rotate the spine and come back to center. So just extend the legs if they're not already out in front. Just stretch the knees and give them a little shift from side to side. Coming on to the hands and knees. If you need support under your knees, please have a cushion or a blanket, and we'll just create some movement in the spine and then take downward facing dog. So just finding your way into the spine, cat and cow, securing the shoulder blades by pressing the web of your thumb and forefinger down, spreading the palms, rotating the front crease of your elbow to the front of your mat. No dumping into the shoulders or the belly. So a slight hint of doming between the shoulder blades. As we inhale, hips rise, chest rises. And on your exhale, have a sense of pushing into your hands and rolling at the shoulders away as you look to your navel. Let's do that again. Inhale, open. Drawing the chest, broadening the chest. Exhale, doming between your shoulder blades, that slight push. And as we inhale, we slightly, subtly draw the hands back. So we draw the chest through, tuck your toes under, sit the hips almost back onto your heels. Raise the knees an inch, 2 inches, and press the hips up into downward facing dog. Let's settle in downward dog. You can be still. You can walk your dog. You can have a shorter dog. You can have a wider dog. So be very, very conscious of the 4 bases, those 4 points of contact. Press down, root down. Hips are high, knees are soft if there's any hamstring issues. And then let's raise the heels high and ripple through. Tuck your tailbone under and come forward and ripple into plank, aligning your shoulders over your wrists. Bring your toes together. From plank, let's come down onto our forearms. And from forearm plank, you may need to drop your knees to the floor. Please don't strain. Please check that your shoulders are directly over your elbows. And let's place the palms of the hands together into prayer. We're going to pivot onto our left toe side of our left foot. And as we do, we're going to open the right side of our body and create a little picture frame around our face, opening the whole right side of the body. If it's available to you, do lift that right elbow. If not, keep it down on the floor. Let's bring that right forearm down as we exhale and pivot back to our feet. Inhale. Let's do our right side, so pivot right. Let's lift that left elbow off and create a picture frame or an extension of our left arm up. And as we inhale, bring it back. Let's drop our knees and slide our toes back and come into Sphinx. So, firming the thighs, imagine we are squeezing the skin around the muscles, and we're squeezing the muscles around the bones of our lower columns of our legs. We have that sense of gently drawing our elbows back to our waist so that our chest broadens and opens. Now, Sphinx will always be an option for your back bend. If you're moving on, let's coming into a variation of locust, coming down to rest the forehead on the floor. So the legs are as firm as they were in Sphinx, all 10 toenails just lightly touching the floor. The knees are hovering off the floor. The tailbone lengthens down. On our inhale, we're going to raise our legs, we're going to raise our chest. Salabhasana, locust pose. So from locust, you can choose to stay here, or if you're moving on your inhale, we're going to extend the arms forward and widen the legs as wide as we can. As we exhale, bring the hands down into cactus arms and the legs hip width apart. Inhale again. Arms extend, legs widen. And exhale, cactus arms and hip width legs. Twice more with the breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then exhale completely as you relax. Head resting onto the back of the hands. Or if you wish to turn your head one way or the other, please do. Another option will be to bend your knees and just windscreen wiper the lower limbs from side to side, just to create a little bit of relaxation into the hips and the pelvis. So lower the legs, bring your hands back under the shoulders and press back to kneeling. Sit your hips back on your heels and let's come into wisdom seal. Our hips open as wide as is comfortable. Crease from the hips and fold your body forward. Either resting the chin, chest, armpits, the whole front of the body down. Or if that's not available to you, you may need to fold your arms underneath your head or use a brick. Always an option. So with wisdom seal, we're opening the hips, we're creating space on the front, sides and back body. Be very conscious of the rhythm and sensation of your breath radiating out through your system. You exhale, your breath simply collects back to source. And when you're ready, you walk your hands back in and you draw your hips into parallel. So coming once again onto all fours, we're just going to do a couple of standing poses. Triangle and reverse triangle. So from all four position, let's tuck our toes under. Let's raise our knees just a little bit off the floor. Check in with the core, check in with the space between the shoulders. Let your hips press back to your heels and then raise them up into the sky for downward facing dog. So we're going to lift our heels high and we're going to bring our heels in together and then lower our heels down to the floor so the columns of our legs are externally rotated. And you may need to soften your knees for this one, if that's available and easier. We're going to raise the heels on an inhale high. We're going to bend our knees and sit our hips down onto our heels low with an exhale. Raise high, inhale. Lower heels, exhale, squeezing the inner thighs together. Let's do that one more time. Inhale high. Exhale low. Inhale high. And lower both heels down. Look forward. And step your left leg between your hands. And have a visual check that your heels are on the exact same tram line. And have a sense that you can slightly spread those feet away from you and then windmill yourself up into standing. And as you do, don't leave your hip out. Shift the hips back in to neutral. So your right hand holds the right hip and the left arm rises to the sky. We're going to raise the right hip high on an inhale. The left hip drops down into the top of the thigh and we lengthen out the whole left side. Hand caresses your left shin and your right arm reaches to the sky. If you have happy shoulders, we turn the palm to face the horizon and we extend that right arm over a little bit further. But don't collapse the arm in front of the face. Be very conscious of the rhythm of your breath, the sensation of the air, the shapes that your body's creating. Press the feet softly away from each other to create space in your back and inhale to come up. Neutralize the shoulders directly over your hips as you reverse triangle. Radiating the left rib cage open. Now we have an option to either just bring ourselves out of this pose and rest into child's pose, or bring yourself up and windmill all the way around to the front of the mat. Lift the back heel up and then sweep your left leg up into downward dog splits. And as you do that, lower the right heel down to ground you. Lift the right heel up, pivot forward to plank. Lower down through chaturanga. Rise into Sphinx, Cobra or Upward Dog. And then press back, either rolling through your feet or tucking the toes under into Downward Facing Dog. So I am going to change around on my yoga mat so that I don't have my back to the camera to do the second side. See? Heels together. Inhale, heels high. Exhale, bend knees, hips low. Hips high. And lower heels down. Again, inhale. Sit the hips down, the hips open, the knees track the toes. Inhale, rise. And lower. Look forward. Step your right foot forward between the hands. Check the heels are on the same tram line. Windmill, coming up into standing, shoulders directly over the hips. Left hand, left hip, right arm to the sky, inhale. Pick up the left hip, rise it. The right hip floats down, the right arm floats down, and the left arm floats to the sky or to the horizon. Inhale for 2, exhale for 2. Inhale for 3, exhale for 3. That slight press of the feet away from each other, and the inhale raises you up. Left hand, left thigh, right arm to the sky or to the horizon for reverse triangle. Your next available inhale, you come up. You have an option just to take downward dog or child's pose, or windmill all the way around to the front of the mat. The back heel lifts up. You drag your right foot back up to the sky. You lower the other heel down to the floor. The heel rises, left heel lifts. Pivot forward to plank, chaturanga, elbows brush the rib cage, coming into Sphinx, Cobra, or upward facing dog, and then press back into downward facing dog. Settle on your knees, sit your hips onto your heels, flip your palms up, either arms forward, or if it feels better for you, arms down by the sides of your legs, palms still facing upward. In your own time, and with an inhale, roll up. And come to sit on your hips. So we're going to take Janu Shirshasana, making sure that you're sitting on the sit bones. If you need to raise the hips, place a folded blanket underneath and draw your right leg onto the inner right shin. If you need some support underneath the knee, use a blanket or a support. Interlace the hands, turn to face the front of the mat, raise the arms, inhale up, and on your exhale, bow forward. Either using a strap or a hand bind of your choice, either holding onto the ankle or a strap, crossing over the hands or into a deeper extension. The neck long, the back of the skull long, the front of the skull descending down. Eyes soft. Inhale for 3. Exhale for 3. On your next inhale, raise the head first. Bring the back of the heart to the front of the heart and come up slowly. Arms rise, left arm comes across to the right knee and right arm comes back down behind you for a rotation of the spine. Option 1, you simply stay here. Option 2, the right arm floats up and we take a lateral extension to the whole right side of the body. And again, you can either gaze down to that active left leg, or you can gaze up to the ceiling, both eyes closed, or just close your right eye. And in doing so, you could just skim the edge of that right palm with your vision. If your side body is a little bit more healthier and happier and flexible, take that right arm over into the horizon and catch your left foot. Your next inhale, rise. And then rotate the whole body back to the front. And release, right leg. So we're just going to turn around to the second side. So we have our right leg extended out, our left leg folded in. Make sure you scoop the sit bones out. Any support underneath that left knee, please do. Interlace. If you find you can interlace slightly different, then do so. Just swap your hands. Palms facing forward, inhale up. Exhale, lengthen and bow forward. Use a strap, use your ankle, use your foot, use a bind that is familiar. Comfortable for you, no strain. Soften the mouth, soften the eyes, soften the gaze, soften the breath. Inhale for 3. Exhale for 3. So as we lift the head, we imagine drawing the back of the heart to the front of the heart and rise up using an inhale. Rotate the body to the left, open the arms, the right hand touches the left knee, left hand behind. Option to stay here. Or moving on, back arm raises up and we bring our whole side body open on the left side, contracting the right side. Left arm facing the sky or into the horizon. Radiating left side of the body open. Your next available inhale, you come up. And then rotate the body back to face the front, or your new front of the mat. So just massage the legs just a little bit. We're just going to stabilize the lower back now by lying down onto our back and taking a variation of bridge pose before we end our practice with a Shavasana. So coming to lie down on your back, feet hip width apart, knees directly over your ankles, arms down by the sides of your body. So check in with your foundation, press the mound of your big toe joint down, press the palms of the hands down, the whole of your back spread on the floor, the back of the skull long, the throat soft in and up. So as we start to peel off the base of the spine and the lower back, we start to roll the hips up into bridge pose. So using your inhale, roll the pelvis from the base to the top, making very sure that the knees are tracking the toes. So not looking to see but feel. Resist the urge to let the knees splay to the sides. If you wish to tuck the shoulders under, interlace the hands under the back, lift a shoulder and tuck it under and do the same with the other one. And have a sense that with your feet you're able to press them a little bit more forward without losing that action of pressing the big toe mound down once again to the floor. And then release the hands and lower your pelvis halfway down just so your eyes can skim the edge of your knees with your vision. And you raise your right leg to the height of the left thigh. Still having the sensation that you're pressing and spreading your left foot away from you on your yoga mat. Bend your right knee, place the foot down. Exhale, lower the pelvis down. Breathe in. Exhale. Let's repeat that again on the second side. So full inhale, raise fully up into your full bridge. Find the shoulders tucking under, the chest broadening, the rooting down of the feet, the lengthening of the back of the neck, the rooting down of the feet. Palms release. Pelvis rolls down halfway-ish, just so you can skim the edge of your knees with your eyes. Press the right foot away, raise the left leg the height of your right thigh. Your left knee bends, and you exhale, roll down. And then just separate the feet the width of your yoga mat and let the knees drop in together. And with your arms, take the arms up and cross your right arm over the top of the left and wrap your arms around just to relax the upper chest. Release the arms, change sides. Left arm on top. So if you have any back issues, you may want to keep the position of this legs here and just lower your arms down by the sides of your body in preparation for our final symbolic pose of Shavasana. Or just lower your arms down, lower the legs, and take a moment to make any adjustments to your body. Making sure that you are as comfortable as possible. The legs and the feet about 6 to 10 inches away from the sides of your body. Open your mouth. Allow the tongue to drop, the lips to open, the back of the skull to lengthen, the front of the skull to soften, the eyes to drop back down to the base of the skull, and the front of the throat softens to sit on the back of the neck. The scalp releases its grip from your skull. And soft waves of relaxation radiate all the way down from the shoulders to the fingertips. Down the spine, swirling around the rib cage, softening the navel, the belly. Waves of relaxation radiate from your pelvis, down the legs, the columns of the legs, to the heels. So you feel the back of the heels on the floor, the back of the hands on the floor, the back of your body on the floor. Please allow yourself to stay here as long as you wish, whether it's a few moments or half an hour, it's totally up to you. Thank you very much.